We're here at the Milan International Film Festival 2017 and I'm joined by filmmaker and writer Jahani Motta, who's here with her film The Third Wheel. Jahani joined us in Madrid with Cheryl and Denise and had success there, and congratulations on the nominations here.
Thank you
very much. So it's a short film, but it's fun, it's fresh. For those that aren't aware, tell us about the story of The Third Wheel.
The Third Wheel is the story about a guy named Jesse who's played by Steven Smith. He's my best friend in the film, and he has a really bad breakup. So I invite him to move in with me and my boyfriend John. And then just from there, he creates havoc between John and myself. And there's a little twist at the end to give it a little more excitement. But it's just a little fun film that I wrote right before Madrid.
Yeah.
I wrote it in the spring, and it was completed right before I left for Madrid. And we shot it 2 weeks after I came back, over a two-day period.
Two-day period. That's one thing actually. It's an unexpected little twist, and again, we won't give anything away because we want people to see the film. It is fun, and is it something from personal experience, or where did the idea come from?
The idea of The Third Wheel came about me being the third wheel in all my friends' relationship.
Right, okay.
So one day
You're that annoying.
One day I was hanging out with my friend and her boyfriend. And I was like, someone needs to write a movie about like the third wheel of a relationship. And, it was just something that I was like, I'm just gonna do it.
Just gonna do it, yeah.
And I wrote it, and the twist it's just something that I added, just to like give it more life. But it was just kind of came about just me hanging out
So it's
with all my friends' boyfriends and their relationship. So.
But you find yourself obviously going around. I mean, it's at festivals we see lots of confusing films, which but it's a simple narrative.
Yeah.
It's got and that's obviously what's fun about it, kind of thing. So tell us about the casting process. So you've mentioned Steven Smith, and then it's John was Brennan Lowry, and obviously then yourself
and
in
then
it.
Myself.
But it just all worked. It clicked. It worked. Stephen's very watchable in it as well. It's the faces, and then even John. So tell us about how casting came about.
The cast doesn't.
No, the casting. So
the cast. Sorry. Well, I knew Steven from an acting class that I took a while ago, and I actually had a different Steven in mind, but he couldn't do it. And I was like, well, how am I going to find another person that I could click with? And I was like strolling to my Instagram, and then he showed up. I was like, right. Steven, there you go. So I messaged him and asked him if he could do it, and he said that he would love to. And then Brennan, I worked with him. I had a web series a while ago,
right.
And he was in it. And then ever since then, I've always like used him for things that I need.
Right. So he's your go-to guy.
So I know him personally from the past, and I've worked with him before, and he's really talented. So he was my first choice to play my boyfriend. And then Steven, I just asked because I knew his work from the past, and it was just like something. It was just magic because we just came together.
It all clicked perfectly, and it's one of the sort of short films that you could look at and actually see it being a 25-minute sitcom, seeing as it goes on. Obviously, there's lots of different programs, so compliments to you, because I think there is scope there, and it's got sort of a bit of meat on the bone. But tell us a little bit about your background. Obviously, we had an interview together in Madrid, but tell everyone obviously how you got into filmmaking, being behind the camera, in front of the camera.
Well, I started as an actor. I feel like most filmmakers. I went to acting school in New York City, and after I graduated, I wasn't really like getting any work, and it was just kind of tiring because you go to auditions, and you don't get anything. So I started kind of learning about filmmaking. I took a writing class just to like better my writing skills, because I wanted to start doing stuff for myself, since no one else was casting me. I'm gonna cast myself.
Because then you definitely get the role.
Exactly. I started just doing work for myself. So after after I graduated and completed my writing course, I wrote a web series, and I did 10 episodes of that. It's called
What's that called?
Internet Affairs.
Okay.
It's on my website, joanny.net.
Yeah, plug in.
It's called Internet Affairs. I wrote 10 episodes. It's a comedy. It's based on like just internet dating.
Right.
And I read a lot about my experiences and things. So
yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, everyone says write what you know or do what you know, and obviously it's one of those things. And would you say that very much you're obviously based on comedy and slapstick in a way, like you look at experiences and just go, oh, that's so me.
Yeah.
And then build on that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I love comedies.
Yep.
So it's funny because while I was in acting school, I was really good with all the drama stuff, all the drama material. And my friends would be like, oh, you'd be a great drama teacher. But not drama teacher, like a drama actor. But
to be the big.
Yeah. But I don't know. I love comedies, and it's just something that I kind of fell into writing, and everything that I write is just funny and light. So that's kind of like the route that I would like
You're going to go down. And the honest truth is, say, with the festivals and all the films we get in, comedies at small sort of independent film festivals are a rarity. We get a lot of documentaries and lots where the narratives can be confusing and you really have to invest in it, whereas, and it's not an insult, I love comedy, stand-up comedy or comedy films. I just love to sit there and go, and laugh, and obviously that's what it's about. So you think you'll just continue on that sort of path of? Yeah,
I think I will. It's something that I'm just like, I'm really good at it.
Yeah, even if it's just like
I'm here.
Yeah, cool.
I feel like I'm good at it, and I just really love like making people laugh, and like people coming up to me and be like, oh my God, your film was so funny, and just make me laugh. Even there's like 50 minutes, it's like you gave 50 minutes of joy to someone.
Yeah, and that's as it is. I mean, it's also about obviously the faces and then the little bits of crying and like the little twist where then Jesse at the end, I'm moving out again, like obviously as that happens. But the taco scene is actually, it's just how, because you look and think that was, in terms of little peaks in the narrative, that was kind of one of a set, as it were, as it happened. How did that, was that just a bit of fun, or how did that come about? Did you write that into the script?
No, I wrote that into the script. I just wanted to have little things that will like kind of, like you said, just peek into it. Yeah. And I thought about the taco scene actually happened
with you.
My roommate was making tacos with her boyfriend, and there was like a little bit left, and she was like, Johnny, there's some tacos in there, and I'm just like getting my little tacos, and her boyfriend were like having a splendid meal. I was like, I'm gonna add this into the film.
There, See, that's brilliant.
But it happened. I mean, in real life, I didn't eat her boyfriend's tacos. It was just a situation where I found myself yet again as the third wheel.
The third wheel coming in.
Eating their leftovers.
So going back to the web series, where did that go? Obviously, although it's online, so that was all based on experience, and then continue the story. I jumped in. So carry on from the web series. Then how did things develop for you?
After the web series, with the web series, I had it in this web series network that's no longer around, and like that did really well. But after, I kind of like just stopped for a while because in New York is really expensive. When you're like independent, you have the money. It's really hard. So I just it was just more about like educating myself more in filmmaking, and I was working a lot and taking classes because I wanted to get better. And then
were you still auditioning at this stage? So still after you'd done the web series where you cast yourself and everything, you went back to auditioning? And
I went back to auditioning because the web series itself, I pay for everything. I didn't I'm really weird about crowdfunding because 90% of my friends are actors and they're trying to do things themselves, so I don't want to be like, hey, give me some money so I could do something. So I kind of pay for everything myself, and it was kind of hard financially, so I just had to keep on working to save. So I went back to auditioning,
It's interesting you say that because again, obviously interviews that have taken place this week, some filmmakers that want to get their film out there or get it made have gone on Indiegogo and do obviously the different crowdfunding because they think if people want to see it made. But for you, you've say got a different view on that, and you just think that if you've got the mentality to make a film, then make it yourself and save it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, nothing against like people who do crowdfunding. That's like a lot of people. A friend of mine actually just raised $100,000 to make a feature film through crowdfunding, and there's nothing against that. There's a lot of generous people who love like to help filmmakers and you know, who will contribute. But that's just something that I personally don't like to do.
And is that all based on because you think your friends will...
Yeah, I just don't want to bother them.
Yeah, you don't want to bother them.
Yeah, I just don't want to bother them asking for money or...
But would you not look to put it on the platform or on the, say, Indiegogo or any other platform and let other people that you don't know contribute or...
I mean, yeah, I mean, I never say never. I'm not saying that I'll never do it.
But right now, you get more satisfaction, I'd assume.
Yeah, just doing it myself.
Doing it yourself, seeing a completed project and going, I did that, no.
Yeah, because there's also things like on Indiegogo. I don't know if it's Indiegogo that if you don't raise it, you lose everything.
Yeah, I think, which is then a risk, isn't it? Because obviously they're a business at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So yeah, you look and just think, you know what, I don't have to deal with any stress or concerns or worries.
Exactly, and like I don't want to stress myself out. Let's say that I'm trying to raise 50,000 and then I don't even come close to that and I lose whatever little I raised because I didn't meet it. Then it's like going back to square one, and I don't want to be put in that situation.
Stressful. It's also, I can imagine, becomes an addiction for some of these filmmakers that are thinking, logging in every day, have I got enough yet? Have I got enough? Who's sort of made a donation and done things? So in terms of the third wheel, what was the budget in terms of that? So
I pay for it myself again. I actually didn't pay my rent or like any bills just so I could do this for like a month. I didn't pay my bills for my credit card bills for like 2 months.
Right.
And my rent I didn't pay for a month just so I could pay the DP and stuff. But it was about 2,000.
That's what I say. But for a 2,000 budget, which is obviously a low budget, but it's still, and I'm guessing, did any of the actors?
No, they didn't get paid.
They didn't get paid. Okay, that's the thing. Obviously,
that's why, that's why I asked them, because like I know them personally, and I knew that they would do it.
But then the thing is, which happens, you make a film for a low budget. So the apartment was your friend's apartment.
Yeah, it was my friend's apartment, and then 2
actors working for free, and you've pulled together a great little short.
I mean, I bought them lunch. So. Okay,
and ate it for them.
I fed them.
Yeah, I fed them.
But I paid for the DP sound, because I didn't like this. I see some films that they're great, but like it sounds like so shitty. Excuse my language, but it's I wanted the sound to be good, so I pay someone
to come in and make sure it's fine.
Yeah, and then
editing. So I can imagine it's quite echoey in there as well. Obviously, based primarily bar one outside shot or scene, but it's all inside the apartment, which obviously you've mentioned is your friend's. But although it's an open space, but when listening, was the sound a little bit off? And that's what, because it's dialogue led, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
And facial expressions. So that you saw that at the start, that you needed to focus on the sound.
Yeah, I had issues like with my web series. I didn't have a sound person, and the sound wasn't great. So for this, I really, and for Sharon Denise, we didn't have like we had sound equipment, but it wasn't like a professional sound person that was working it. So it was kind of in and out sometimes. But for this, I just wanted that, to make sure that it was good. So I hired like a professional sound person to work on it, and just to make sure that everything.
And did you know the difference? Obviously, that shows the development of you as a filmmaker, recognising on your previous projects what wasn't right, seeing Cheryl and Denise and thinking it's still not right, and now you've brought a sound person in. Do you notice a difference, and will you now forever use the sound? Yeah,
definitely. It's better to like make the investment into a sound person than just go just chance it with a random person holding the boom. Yeah. Because that's what I did in my previous shoots. I would just have one of my friends hold the boom and like.
Right, and then they're there and
then,
their arms are going up and down.
Or like they'll point the mic to a different location, and the sound wouldn't be great. So that was like one of the learning things for me. It's better to invest into sound than just go.
And that's actually what you find is odd, because we do with lots of different films we get, even now people are going, oh, I've revised it, and the main revision is sound. The sound quality wasn't good enough. It needed to be sorted out. So if you can sort that in the first instance, because otherwise they're doing a lot of stuff in post, aren't they, where they're trying to up levels and try and sort it out kind of thing. So yeah, you've done that now. And what sort of other investments were there? Was it all just the additional crew then, which is?
Well, I really had like a 2-person crew. It was three. It's like the DP, the sound, and Stephanie McBee, who was my AD. And I had some of my friends do like just production assistant.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a large crew. But all the money went into like post-production,
right, okay.
editing. We had to do a lot of sound cleanup.
Oh, so there was still bits. Was it a busy? Was the apartment on a road? Because I was thinking, obviously, was there any outside noise which was?
It wasn't on the road, but it was. You could still hear like the outside because it's an open. It was kind of open.
Yeah.
It's an open. It's literally like all windows. The whole wall is all windows. So there was a lot of sirens, so you could still hear the outside.
Right.
You could still hear people like their neighbors. And it's not like we shut down the building. Like we don't.
No, yeah, you just got in and gone, what are you doing? I'm just making a project. But yeah.
So like someone will come in the elevator, we'll have to stop and just wait for them to like go into their apartment because they'll be on the
doors
phone.
slamming or bang and hearing everything.
Yeah.
So, but then that creates realism as well. But was it a case of the sound? If you're doing a scene, the noise just puts everyone off.
It would throw it off because we'll be having like a conversation, like the taco scene, for instance.
Yeah.
You could hear people outside, so we had to stop a few times.
Right, okay.
Because it would just kind of interfere with our dialogue, and it wasn't good.
Right. And then the whole wine, is that you as well? The whole drinking wine and just sitting there and watching films. That's all. It's a biopic of you, really, isn't it? Like,
it's just my life story.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Jesse and Mary would be the type of people who'll be obsessed with like pop culture and like the Kardashians, and they'll always be drinking something.
That just makes it relevant as well, though. Again, because so you could, as an audience member, you can just sort of relate to it and go, oh, okay, yeah, that is popping in, rather than it being anything confusing that's just gonna put you off it or that you say you can't relate to. So yeah, it just worked, and it was fresh as well. So the apartment was a good choice. If it was an apartment like in Friends or something where it was dark and a mismatch of colours, you focus on the characters because it's a nice white room, obviously a space there. So no, I think that worked actually.
Yeah, I originally was gonna do it in my apartment, but my apartment it's so dark and it has no windows. And the owner of the apartment, she's a yoga teacher, and she invited us to like a yoga class once. So I went to her apartment and I just fell in love. It was like an instant thing, and I asked her to let me shoot it there, and she said yes. So I got really lucky.
Brilliant. And so little things like that just help you, and it means it's like makes you believe that this was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So what's next with your work or the Third Wheel? Obviously still doing the circuit. Are you running them alongside each other, Cheryl underneath and the Third Wheel? And you've probably made another film since you've arrived here today.
I know, maybe I'll see you in Amsterdam.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, right now I'm doing the festival circuit, and I'm trying to find the motivations. I have a feature film that I've been writing.
You mentioned this to me in Madrid, I think. You said about a feature, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'm trying to finish that. So far, I've written 70 pages.
Right, okay.
But it's finding the motivation. It's so hard sometimes. Like when you're just working, and now in the winter,
you find an excuse to put everything off. You'll sit there and you'll procrastinate, and you'll go. I studied film, and I live vicariously through the filmmakers. My main passion is writing. Creative mind. I like writing different things, but all of a sudden you'll be like, right, and I'm never going to make a film, I don't believe, because I don't think I've got what it takes. I think I've got the idea, and I know it's negative, and you'll probably go, no, you can do it, but I'd like to write an idea. I mean, something like this, that's the sort of style I would do. That's why I think I can relate to it, because I like it. I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing you. Yeah. Of all the different films I see, I like it because it's just fun and it's a bit of me as well. But I'd sit there and I'd start doing something, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, Instagram, oh,
yeah,
Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
There's so many distractions right now that it's, and I am a huge procrastinator, and that I had to force myself to do the third wheel. I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I finished because it took me like 4 months to write a 15-page script. Because I joined a writers group in New York because I wanted to like force myself to do it, and I finally finished it. I was like, this has to be done. And I just scheduled 2 random days, like, I'm going to do it after Madrid. I did it, I scheduled it, and I asked my friends, are you guys available this day? And they were, so I couldn't back that away.
Were they local? Did they have to?
Yeah, no, they're
brilliant.
Local. They're in New York.
Brilliant. So again, that was all meant to be your friend's apartment, then be local. Because had it been, but I live far away, then all of a sudden you're going to be like, well, I'm going to have to invest in flights and...
Yeah, but with this feature, it's... I find like every excuse in the book not to sit down. I'm always like, oh, my room is too dark. I have no windows. Like that has to do with
sitting on YouTube watching videos of dogs and cats.
Exactly, that's what happens to me. I'll go into I'll write one scene, and I'll just go on YouTube, or I'll start watching something.
I'm thirsty, so you go downstairs, and you go downstairs, and you just, or if in your apartment, don't know, whatever. But you go to the sink, and you go, can I have a drink, and then you go, right, I'm gonna go back down. Well, I'll have a break now because I've got a drink. I'll have a break, and then you go, I'm a little bit hungry.
Exactly, and then 4 hours later, you haven't done one sentence.
Yeah, and you sit there and go. You look at it and go, well, I don't even like that actually, so I'm going to delete that now. And it's counterproductive.
It's been kind of hard to finish this
What's
script.
the feature based on? Are you giving any information?
Yeah, it's loosely based on me. It's a high school volleyball team, inner city volleyball team, and they're like an underdog story, and their story about how they went from like zeros to heroes, I guess.
So the underdog story, which is...
but with an inner city girls volleyball team.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking that's not really been done. I love fresh new ideas, which obviously even if you look in the scheme of Hollywood, films that haven't been like areas that haven't been covered before, and that's something where I know obviously you have the dodgeball film and obviously the underdog story, but something which actually... is there anything that is on screen that covers volleyball?
Not recently. Like I've seen volleyball stories, but it's not... They weren't like underdog stories in a way. So hopefully I finish it soon.
That's the thing, you finish and get out. So
I could get it done.
Would you cast yourself in it as well?
I did write a role for myself, but it's a high school story, so all the leads are high school kids.
High school, okay.
But I wrote myself as the guidance counselor.
Oh, okay, so they just come in and then you sit there. Because I can imagine it'd be a lot more difficult directing yourself in a film.
Yeah, and I think with this film, because of there's so much that's into it. It's a really large cast. I would probably rather have someone else that has more experience with that doing it than myself. I would like to sell it to Disney. Disney, if you're listening.
Yeah. Do you think it's got that sort of?
Yeah, I think it does. It has that Disney feel to it. So I would love for Disney to do it.
Is that something which you would do? I mean, how would you try and get it to them? I'm guessing you're going to try in some. Well, first of all, so you've got to finish it.
I got to finish it first.
And then once the script's done, would you then look to go to them to see if they would help produce it?
I haven't looked that far into it.
I'm doing more work than you here, aren't I?
Yeah, you're doing way more. Maybe you should do it for me. I'm not really sure how to go about like selling a script, to be quite honest. I've never had done that before, and I guess I'll just submit it to production companies
and see if anyone bites.
And if anyone's interested and could help me get it to the bigger fish.
And what about any more development? Is the third wheel just a standalone? I mean, I genuinely see it as being, and maybe you don't, and if it's not, then you're the expert, you know, but I see the characters been possible to develop. Friends ended years ago. They've now got out the Big Bang Theory, which is the similar one, obviously a couple of locations, 2 apartments, but I see it as having a bit more meat on the bone. No?
Well, actually, a lot of people have told me that they would like to see more, because they're like, I love the chemistry of you and Jesse.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of thinking, like, maybe, you know, if something were to happen and someone would be interested in giving me some money to make it into a sitcom, I could probably stretch it out more and write a series.
think there's something there. Also, as well, if it's going out to production companies, you're not asking them to invest a lot of. They obviously get so many different projects.
Yeah.
But they can watch it. They'll get a gist of it within the first 5 minutes, and 7 minutes later, it's finished. Yeah. So it's a short pilot promo just to go. This is what I've created. These are the characters. Of course, there can be more characters, and in everyday life. And it's writing about what you know. There's so many different situations.
Yeah, and I thought about that too. It's like I could definitely turn the third wheel into a series, because I've had an idea of for a show for myself.
Oh, okay.
But
is it called the Johanny Show?
It's called the Johanny Show, exactly. But it'll be about myself and like Jesse and our relationship and our life in New York, but because I always find that all New York shows only show the nice part of New York, and like they don't go to the ghetto or to the hood, or like they don't go past 59th Street, or like they don't go into East New York.
Okay, because you get obviously the success of like Melissa and Joey type shows again, which in honest opinion have had massive success, but I've watched a few episodes, but it's not for me. It's just too slapstick and sort of canned laughter. Whereas you just want something which you can relate to and it's funny. And as you say, if you're exploring the darker area, as it were, and a few more late night shopping or just... I think you could...
Yeah, and I would love to do a show like that, just to focus on our experiences in New York City and our relationship and like all the things that we encounter. Because it's not something that I've seen, like I watch a lot of New York shows, there's not something, unless it's like in Law and Order, you're not going to see...
you're going to see the dark,
the dark areas in a funny way.
Yeah, that's the thing, you want to obviously, add a comedy factor to it, because that's what you know best. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and wishing you every success with Third Wheel tomorrow night, and hopefully you get your feature finished, you get a sitcom sorted, and you pull your finger out and you get that done.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.